Welcome back to MvM Live. I'm Kira. It's the big game Sunday. That was a heck of a game though, wasn't it? Like, I don't know. I've got a love in my heart for San Francisco. And so I wanted them to win because it's like my first home team, I guess. But at the same time, I like Kansas City this year. They're both good teams, and I was happy to see that it was a game again at the end, but that's just me. The foosball. Anyone else? Predictions, good, bad, everything out there, right? All right, so I've been gone for a couple weeks. I was in Arizona. I did a little class out there. I like to go out there to do those, and I get to visit some family while I'm there. Normally I get to visit some friends too, but we had a little bit of a time crunch with some family stuff going on and work stuff going on because it was a working trip. It wasn't a vacation so much. So I didn't get in as much gaming while I was in Arizona as I thought I would, but I got in like one game during my class on one of our breaks. We were having dinner and I broke out medium from greater than games. I figured it was a great game for doing that. And it was like a communication oriented leadership class. And so I was like, ooh, medium will probably be a good one to go over with that group. So I'll take it. And if we have some downtime, I'll play it with those folks. And I thought it went over pretty well. Non-gamer crowd for the most part. But we had a lot of fun with it. And there were some really funny moments, of course, when you're playing medium. So for those of you who've never played medium, it is pretty straightforward. I have it right here. You have this little box full of a gazillion cards, and I actually don't even think that I sorted mine out after the game we played. Oh yeah, no I didn't. Played like 5 players. And you have, each player is going to have a set of cards, and they're going to have words on them. Like this one says firefighter. Hold it closer to my face because the whatever, so you can sort of read it. Anyway, firefighter, root, pirate, and one person's going to play down a card on a pair. Okay, so 2 people are paired up. One person places firefighter, and the other person now has to pick a card from their hand and place that card down, and let's say melt. That would be a nice one to have pulled with somebody playing firefighter. Anyway, so then the 2 players are going to sit there and they're going to mind meld. Mind taking, as I like to refer to it, from Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, for those of you who really want a nice little throwback there. Anyway, you're going to mind take from each other, and you're going to figure out what the common word is, the medium word. And then you're going to count to 3. And if you say the same word, congratulations, you win the round. You get to pick from the pink pile of points. There's all these little things that have points on them. Anyway, if you get it wrong, then you have to take the 2 words that were just said, because obviously they weren't the same, otherwise you would have won. And you have to use those as the new 2 words to find the medium of those 2 words. And you get to do that up to 3 times to get points, and then you just have to move on. Sorry, no mind taking happening today. So that is medium, and I got to play it with a bunch of new to this kind of game gamers. This is a group of people where we played a lot of that probably play a lot of Monopolies and things like that and like them. And I'm one of those people, I don't hate on Monopoly. It's a game that I really liked and enjoyed, and I don't play it now because I want to have that memory of still liking and enjoying it once upon a time. So that was one of the things that I played while I was gone. All right, let's look at the comments. Oh, I got a Harvey Birdman fan in the audience tonight. Got some hellos. Hi, everybody. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. Post big game. I was feeling very clever tonight because we played the new Tiny Towns expansion over the weekend, which I really enjoyed, which is called Fortune. Tiny Towns Fortune, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. So outside of that, at my class, I thought it was really funny because we had to make a game. Like one of the little exercises was to make a game. But the idea was to be like childlike about it, like, the floor is lava style. And everybody knew I do this game stuff. So they're like, ooh, Kira's on our team, cool. And I was like, I don't think that's the point of this game, y'all. So I'm like, all right, components list, goal of game, the rules, what would need to happen, how many players per team, blah, blah, blah. And I'm getting right. I'm like, you guys, this feels super complicated. This feels like exactly the opposite of what we should be doing. And sure enough, it was. And of course, we came up with a dexterity game. It was ridiculous. And you have to stack coins on top of a cone, and then you have to take those cones, and you have to then flip them into a net, and then from the net you have to pull them out, and you have to throw them up in the air, and somebody has to bounce them off a racket, and somebody else has to catch them in the other cone. It was ridiculous. So obviously there were too many rules, so once we actually started playing, I changed the rules in real time, and I was just like, catch as many coins as you can. I'm just flipping little gold coins all up in the air and letting people bounce them off rackets and catch them in cones. It was really dumb and a lot of fun. I got a Shadow Thief in the comments. This is my shirt today. This is the Shadow Thief, my very favorite dice throne character from my very favorite game. I love this. So yeah, so it was funny how, just to think about, sometimes we got to uncomplicate these games and just have fun with them. And looking at things in a fun new light and looking at games and taking that exercise really to heart, being somebody who lives in the world of games and seeing what I can apply to that when I'm just playing with people and having fun. And so we had a little game day yesterday, and that's really the majority of the games I've gotten in the last 2 weeks were yesterday. And so we'll just jump right into the first game the game that is the title, Tiny Post Game Show featuring Fortune. Sorry folks, no halftime style rapper edition post-time show feature. We're just talking board games, but I think you'll be excited. So let's go to the close-up cam. This is Fortune from Tiny Towns. For those of you who've never played Tiny Towns, it's a cute little gateway game from AEG where you've got a bunch of different buildings and you're filling out a little grid on your player tableau. It's like a 4x4 grid? Yeah. Of course, I don't have an example in here. I'll have to get out the other game box, I think, as I knock 1,000 things over getting to it. Because, I might as well show you what the actual game is, just in case you've never seen Tiny Towns before, right? That seems fair. Kira, let's get it together, make sure people know what's going on. Oh my gosh, if you guys could see what's happening right now, I'm a hot mess. All right, my mic is all over the place. So Tiny Towns, you've got this grid. You've got all these buildings, and you're gonna put the buildings out on this board in a way that makes different things happen, and all the buildings have different scoring criteria. So you're gonna end up with something that looks like this over the course of the game, and based on the locations of these things or what they do, they're all gonna have a variety of points. And you can kind of see a scoring example here. So depending on the building type, you have a bazillion different types of building in each game. You can see those here. And the reason I haven't mixed these up, because this Tiny Towns is my copy, and this expansion is the MvM copy. So anyway, you can see all these different buildings. These are monuments, which are individual buildings that you can put down. And then you'll have multiple different types of a particular building. So each game is different in how you're going to build and what the scoring or what it does for other buildings. Some of them help other buildings. Some of them are going to score on their own. Some of them are going to score on their own plus do something if other buildings are out. So you have a lot of variety here, which is really, really nice in a game like this. And I had gotten into a rut of teaching this game, and so I have played a lot of the very starting setup game, and I finally was like, you know what, y'all, we've got this expansion. I'm going to mix it all up. So not only did we play with the expansion for Tiny Towns, this Fortune expansion, which I'm going to talk about now, we actually played with a variety of buildings I have not seen before from the base game. So in Fortune, you've got these lovely little treasure chests, and you have coins, these cute little wooden coins, and they have on one side an acorn that's 1 point, and on the other side a little mouse head, because that's, you know, like the coin face of the coin. The coin face of the coin. Good talk, Kira. All right, so again, we've got a variety of new buildings in the same vein as the base game, except these are going to have something potentially to do with the money fun stuff that we've got going on here. So the market, this particular market actually, as it being in the wrong, this is in the wrong box perhaps. Did I mix up my stuff? I did. So these are the ones, these are what we played with. That's right, I left them in here so I could talk about which ones we played with. So these are from the base game, the originals that we played with. They have nothing to do with money. And then we added these 3, which all have to do with money, and then our personal building goal were the ones that have to do with money. So you've got this lovely little board which holds up to 4 money in these lovely little spots here as so, and they have a variety of abilities. So as you gain money, you can only gain up to 4. If you gain more than 4, too bad, it goes back to the supply if you're full. So you can spend the money to, when somebody says, so the way the game works is somebody's going to say a color and everybody's going to choose that color and they have to put it on their board. And you're working towards all these different building patterns with those different color cubes on that green grid that I showed. And so somebody might call a color and you're like, I don't really need that color. I don't want that color. It's going to screw up my plans. I'm going to have to put it on my board and I'm going to have to plan for something. Because once it's there, it's there. You can't move it until you build a building and you remove them for that purpose. So you can use a coin to say, screw you, I'm going to pick a different color than what you said. And the coin will go back to the supply. You can also just hold on to them to the end of the game for points, but you're going to be gaining a lot of different ones throughout the game. And the way you can gain coins, other than what's possibly involved in the cards here, is that if you build 2 buildings at the same time, which normally you're kind of incentivized in the regular game to just build the buildings as you make the pattern. What this is doing is saying, we're going to make you hold out, and your board's probably going to get a little more full and uncomfortable as you go, but you're going to gain a coin for it, which then gives you this extra ability or these extra points at the end of the game. Now, I had this grotto for mine, and wait, no, was this the one I had? Yes, this was the one I had. And what it did was, once I built it, I put 4 coins right in the center of the board in the 4 center squares, 1 in each square. So as I built a building in that square where that coin was and actually completed and built the building in that spot, I gained the coin. So it was kind of a different way to look at coins than other people, whereas like this Mason's Guild is worth 3 points, but then when constructed, you may spend any number of coins to construct a number of unique buildings equal to the amount you spent. So kind of interesting, little different gameplay added to Tiny Towns. Adds a little bit more of a gamery aspect. I mean, it already had that in it. It's a light game, but you can make it more difficult by choosing the different variety of buildings, which I just think is really fun. So now put those back in the right box so that I don't end up losing some of the stuff from my game, Kira. Come on now. So that's Tiny Towns Fortune from AEG, and boy, I just love the little wooden coins. They're super cute. I know I'm kind of a sucker for metal normally, and you guys have heard me talk about that, and you get a new scoring sheet, of course, too, so that you can track the coins. And then, of course, we didn't use it because I don't know, we were possibly drinking while we were playing. So that's it, and it's super cute, and you've got this, you know, just this little, it looks like a little carnival's happening in the Tiny Town universe that's been built here. So that's Tiny Town's Fortune, y'all. All right, I'm got my best James Hudson y'all going tonight because I just love James, and I love his y'all, but also because I've been thinking about Wonderland's War, which we talked about on the last show, and I've also been thinking about Sorcerer City, which I have started to read the rules for because Ryan and I will be playing it on the live stream this weekend. Oh, I've got some comments here. Let's look at those. Let's see. If you're not a Tiny Towns fan, will this change your mind? Probably not. It's the same kind of game. It just adds something new to it. So if you like it, it's just adding a little bit of a new thing to it. I like it because it's very easy for me to teach to gamer groups alike. There were no new buildings necessarily. The new building type. So I showed a few of them in there. I don't want to give too much away, but let's see. I'll show a few more. Let's do that. Good. Let's do that. I'm going to switch back over to the overhead. Whoop. All right. Some of the other new building types. So I think I showed the museum. So with the museum, you get to, I'm not going to zoom in right now. That's going to be too much work. But with the museum, you see the pattern there. You're going to put, because it's like the warehouse. So you have 2 spaces to hold cubes. You get to pick any 2 cubes colors from the supply, stick them on the top. If they get called out during the game and you don't want to use that color and you happen to have it on top of your museum, you can instead take it off of your museum and put it back to the supply and gain a coin. So that's another way to gain a coin. So the Gambler's Den was one we played with. If you only have one coin exactly when you build the Gambler's Den, you gain 2, which is nice. The Tithe Barn is going to feed, and it's got some money things going on with it. It was a little confusing. I stayed away from that one. Like I said, libations were had. The Masons Guild, so these were some of the special buildings. I won't get into those because those are each individuals. But then we got basically 2 new of each building. So we got a cathedral and a parsonage. I don't even know what a parsonage is. Somebody tell me in the comments. Anyway, so the cathedral, 7 points. If not adjacent to another cathedral, when constructed, you spend 3 coins. So you have to spend money in order to construct the cathedral. The jeweler is 4 points. When constructed, spend a coin. If you can't, all other players gain a coin at the end of the round. So you can construct it, but you better have a coin, otherwise everybody else is getting money. Hey, tea house, 1 point. And then when constructed, gain 1 coin for each unique building type in the same row or column. So that's kind of a setup one. And you've got mines. When you construct a mine, you gain 1 coin. When you do a statue, you gain 1 for each building type you have 3 or more of in your town. So again, that's a setup one. You want to put a statue up once you've set up your town, whereas a lot of times these little ones, you're putting a bunch of them out. That kind of changes things a little bit because it's more about getting money. But then again, the money is more about points at the end of the game. You can only get up to 4, so you want to be careful about how you do it. Oddity shops, another style of warehouse. 2 points each. 1 can store 1 resource, blah, blah, blah. Just like the other ones. And then there's gain coin at the start of your turn as the master builder. That's kind of neat. Schoolhouse and a root cellar. So those are some of the other buildings. And then you have, a whole nother stack of personal goal monuments, which are pretty freaking sweet and unique in their own way. So huzzah. Those are some of the cards from Tiny Towns. Let's see. What do you think about a Tiny Town expansion made by the creator of the Tiny Epic series, Scott Alms? If he did that, I don't know. I'd be in Tiny Epic heaven, probably. Tiny Epic Towns. Tiny Epic Towns. Look, can I make it just a tinier version of Tiny Towns with teeny tiny little buildings, little dinosaurs and little spaceships? We'll just mush them all together. I'd have a lot of fun with that just because, I love my tiny stuff. All right. What other comments do we have here? Sorcerer City is such a great game. Oh, so let's talk about Sorcerer City. I am super pumped. We're playing this on the live stream on Wednesday. So you're going to see Ryan and I play this live, noon Eastern, this Wednesday, and then this following Sunday. So next Sunday, obviously, Super Bowl Sunday today, Jeremy Howard took this Sunday off. Next Sunday, he will be live streaming the solo for Sorcerer City. You're going to get a whole lot of Sorcerer City this week, but you're going to get 2 different aspects. You're going to get a 2-player look at it. You're going to get the solo look at it. And we're all going to have a lot of fun playing Sorcerer City. And I do have the blinged out copy. So let's look at it. All right. Oh, blank. I got to reach for this one. And it's heavy. Oh, it's so heavy. Oof, Sorcerer City. Look at this big old box. And the inside's so pretty. Now, I haven't punched this. I've been doing rules. So I got in here and I looked at it ever so quickly because I knew I would go down a rabbit hole with this, and I needed to learn the rules first, which, of course, I'm going to also watch Rodney because, duh, I got to watch Rodney. Rodney helps me learn all the games. When he doesn't make a video, I'm a super sad girl. Anyway, so Token of Valor, super nice, super heavy coin there, super gorgeous. And these lovely, this is what everybody's been talking about. Oh yeah, look at these. Kevin, MvM Kevin, Old Man Games, did some beautiful video and photography work around this game. And you can just see, gosh, I mean, they just come out so good on the camera. They look really good against this blue game topper mat, don't they? Anyway, these are just, you hear those ching, 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 ching. I'm always so happy for metal coins. I know I was just kind of slightly excited over the Tiny Towns little wooden coins because they're super adorable, but these are great. Oh, and I love this gunmetal color here for the 25 marker. So we have 1s, 5s, 10s, and 1s, 5s, 10s, 25s, and 50s. I can do the looking at the numbers and saying them out loud thing. Good job, Kira. So then you've got this lovely little timer. I mean, everything that Skybound and James has been doing just comes out quite beautiful. And the insert even, right? So we're looking at, you saw there's a little place for everything here, except for my random strands of hair. All right, so these are just, everything fits so nicely. Now you can see there's a bunch of empty spaces in here because I haven't punched everything yet. So that'll be what I'll be doing probably tonight or tomorrow night, getting ready. But you've got all your little bits in here. And then I've got all the punchy stuff below, including just the regular cardboard coins. Oh, and look, little Wonderlands of War promo. And one of the things I've always just really enjoyed about Skybound's games, Druid City's games, is they do this lovely little notch here, making it easier for you to pick things up out of the box and get the party started. Just a very smart, everybody take note, notches. It's a really nice little cutout. Obviously, the factories have it. Build that in, make everybody's lives a little bit better, and everything just fits so nicely in here. You couldn't ask for more out of a game storage solution than to have it all just fit ever so nicely. I know I put those together wrong before because they're actually like this. I was just being silly. I put them together because they looked like they fit together, and then I realized that's not what those were for. So Sorcerer City, we're going to play that on Wednesday on the live stream, Ryan and I. And then, like I said, you'll see Jeremy Howard playing it on solo Sundays. And you'll get to see it in live and in person, so noon on Wednesday. Let's see here. Back to the fronts. Hi. Hello. So Nick says the solo is brutal, so we'll find out when Jeremy plays. I'm sure we'll hear all about it. Jeremy Howard plays. So for those of you who follow us on Twitter, @ManVsMeeple on Twitter, you might have noticed that Jeremy Salinas has been in Disney with his wife. She got him the coolest Christmas present, and that was to go to the new Star Wars park. So I've been incredibly jealous for days and seeing lots of really cool pictures pop up from them. I'm feeling serious FOMO for that park. And it's also, they've got Pandora there from Avatar. They've got all kinds of lovely stuff. I love Epcot. I've been to Epcot a bazillion times, but the actual Disney park, Star Wars thing. I really want to go, but I'm thinking I'll probably go next year. My dad and I will probably go. But there's all kinds of really neat stuff. And I heard that there's like this hologram, and you see the pictures and stuff of it. And I've seen some of the video, but like in person, like the hologram of Rey in this ride is like just legit. Pretty cool to see in person. So I'm sure we'll hear more about that maybe on the next chit chat or something, because I want to hear about that. I don't know who wouldn't. Star Wars is awesome. The park looks incredibly cool. And I heard, oh, yep, somebody else is saying this in the comments. So I heard they're going to be redoing Epcot. So I'm hoping that by the time I go and see Star Wars, Epcot will be done. And so we'll do both, because I love Epcot, but it's very dated. It just is. And my dad and I originally went for the Food and Wine Festival, and it was a lot of fun. Obviously, I love wine. I talk about it enough on here, don't I? Wine and whiskey. Give me that stuff. It's delicious. So let's see here. Moving on. So I got a Kickstarter. I've got a couple Kickstarters that are coming up. I got a couple Kickstarter deliveries. We've played some of them. Played a game that we've live streamed before. I introduced to my friends for the first time. So we'll start with that one. That game is Horrified. Whoop. So I'm pretty sure most everybody's familiar with Horrified. But if you're not, if you've been living in a hole and you don't know about this game, you don't know about Prospero Hall, who is awesome. They're the awesome minds behind Villainous. They're the awesome minds behind Jaws, Top Gun, Funkoverse, strategy game, which is a variety from Harry Potter to Batman to Rick and Morty to the Golden Girls, and it's wonderful. This is Horrified. This is your Universal Monsters, and this is probably my favorite part. And I get really cheesy and thematic when I play games with my friends sometimes, and I really enjoy reading, as you all probably know if you watch our programs. And I just love this game. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Horrified, your goal in this game is to not reach this little marker here, which says you're screwed. All right. And you're going to choose how many monsters you have out. You have Dracula, you have the Mummy. You're going to have some villagers that pop up based on these different cards. And you're going to have these little tokens that come out onto the board into their respective locations, and they're going to help you accomplish the different goals of beating back the monsters, who are probably just misunderstood. Let's be honest. Who was there? Who are they really bothering anybody? Or are they bothering people because people are scared of them and they like go chasing them after them with pitchforks and junk? Totally rude. Anyway, you're going to have these little perk cards that you'll get for returning the villagers to their special locations, and your individual characters are going to have abilities and how many actions you get to take and the different things they'll get to do. It's a cooperative game. It was overall liked by the group, and I'll just get out some of these monsters. Go watch our live stream and you'll see more of it. Oh, making a mess out of my box. This is always what I do in these solos or in these Sunday rewinds, is I make a mess out of my stuff. But anyway, you're going to have a different objective for each of these guys. The Mummy's got this little puzzle aspect where you're moving the things around. Frankenstein has his bride, and they're trying to get hooked up, and if they do, bad things happen or good things happen, depending on how you look at it. They're probably happy. The Wolfman, you're looking to cure him if he wants to be cured. Did anyone ask? I don't know. Dracula, you're going to like break all his sleeping areas. You're just like, screw you, Dracula. Smash, smash, smash. And then once he has nowhere to hide, you're like, later, dude, and you stake him, which is kind of rude. Again, not super cool. The creature from the Black Lagoon, you've got this boat that you're moving around, and then so those are the different monsters, and you pesky villagers are running them out of town, possibly doing worse. Not nice, but it has to be done. Protect the children and all that, or whatever. Monsters are scary, right? So that is Horrified, and it's super fun. It was mostly well received. We had one player who wasn't like super hot on the co-op thing. So that's okay though. They're not for everybody. What do we have going on in the comments here? As far as wines go, I like a good red, but I was definitely drinking a Moscato d'Asti called Bug Juice, which is my most favoritist. It is delicious and quite wonderful. So yeah, the Coppola series of red wines is quite lovely. They have another winery that they opened up north in California to kind of separate the inherited winery that he bought for the wines he wants to make himself. So Kickstarter delivery, pledge manager, CrowdOx for this. So our Kickstarter, when I talk about Kickstarters, I have to mention CrowdOx because they are our wonderful presenting sponsor of my Kickstarter delivery segment of the show. Because a lot of the games I get actually come through their pledge manager. So Demacher is an old game redone by Spielworks, and it was on Kickstarter last year. And they updated the politics. They updated some of the artwork. We've got money. I just got it, so I haven't had a chance to fully unravel it in here, but I did play it. I did play the prototype before it came to Kickstarter. Oh yeah, these bits came out really nice, didn't they? And it's a neat game. I think the biggest win I had for this over the original is that there's a short game version, which is fantastic. Also, just in from Kickstarter, and I mentioned that I hadn't had a chance to play it yet, but it's Kodama 3D, which is another lovely little game. This is Indie Boards and Cards for those of you who've ever played Kodama. You're matching, you're making trees. It's always been a card game. This is the third in the series. So there was Kodama, Kodama Duo, which gave you a new 2-player mode, plus gave you more players if you have the original. And then you've got Kodama 3D, the third in the series, but also 3D because it has 3D trees. How freaking cute! And of course, adorable little Kodama meeples, your player colors. And ultimately what you're doing in this game is you have a tree. And just like in regular Kodama, you're going to be working towards some pattern matching. And you have some goals that you want to achieve throughout the game. And those different goals are going to come out, and you're going to get some to start, and then you have the ability to draw them throughout the game. And they'll have either 1 VP per, or they might have 2 VP per, or they'll have things like, of course, that's all I pulled out because I haven't shuffled these yet from the last play we had. But you'll have certain ones that are only scored once. You'll have others that have higher point values, and I know there's at least one in here that's like a 7 that we saw last night. Yeah, here we go. So when you get four of them in a row, you'll get 7 VP, which is not an easy thing to do, because what you're doing is you've got a grid of these branches, these 3D branches that are going to be out on the board, and it'll look like this, where you're going to put your Kodama on them, and as you move your Kodama, you can move in a straight line in any direction without going over anybody. So you can't hop over another Kodama. But you can go in a straight line and you stop. And you want to stop on the one you want to pick up next, because the one you just came off of, you're going to pick up, and then you have to put it on your tree. You have to put it on your tree. Again, you have to put it on your tree. So here we go. I picked this one up. It goes here. Whoop, just like that. And so blue, blue, super for me. I'm going to match my 2 blues, and I might be working towards a goal that has to do with 2 blues. And I start to get this lovely little 3D tree. However, I don't want to go too far, because if he starts to topple, because I've been overgrowing one side of the tree, right? Then some of these didn't get punched. It might topple. And if it topples, I have to take that out and place it somewhere else. And so now my strategy might change. So that's Kodama 3D. Adorable. I've always loved Kodama. I get the pleasure to work on some of the projects with the team at Indie Boards and Cards, as I've mentioned before. And so just seeing it come to life, it's still Kwanchai Moriya's art, which is one of, he's always been a part of the Kodama series and the art for the game. And it's just quite lovely. And so that is Kodama. I'll take it apart later when you guys don't have to watch me do it. All right, so then since I'm talking about indie boards and cards, they have a Kickstarter launching on Tuesday, which Ryan and I will be live streaming this as well for the next Aeon's End. So real quick, we'll talk about that in just a second. I'm going to switch over here and see what kind of comments we've got going on. Let's see here. Oh yeah, so many games. There's so many games. And considering that I've been gone, how many games I even still had a chance to just even look at, let alone play, in the last couple of days has been really great. So let's see, how sturdy are the cardboard pieces in Kodama 3D? I think they will withstand a lot of plays. That was definitely something that the team talked about and looked at, and I'm not going to pretend like I wasn't curious how it was going to turn out. It turned out really good, and they will, I mean, they really handle it really well. I imagine over time, and depending on how careful you are with your pieces, things like that are going to break down naturally, but overall, I'm very impressed with the sturdiness of the branches and how they turned out, and I'm really happy with it, and I know we'll get plenty of plays out of the game. So, all right, so let's move on to Aeon's End, and we'll move on from there, because I've got a couple of fun Kickstarters that I'm getting to a chance to check out that I'm excited about. One of these is Aeon's End Outcasts. So New Age was last year. This is the 5th in the series. So we had Legacy, and then we moved to New Age, which introduced the Expedition system, which this one also has. And forgive me, because this is a prototype, so there's some prototype junk in here. But my prototype cutting scissors. We have this, we're seeing some new and fun things, like these fun die cuts of this monster here. Those are his ears. And you're gonna have to, there's gonna have little things that are gonna come up, and different things are gonna have to happen. You have to defeat each of the ears. And then something new is gonna happen. You've got cool mages, these 4 wonderful mages that they've come up with. And one of the great things about this is that you've still got Kevin Riley, the original designer of Aeon's End, heavily obviously involved in creating these worlds each time, but you've also got the experience and development expertise and design expertise of Nick Little and Sydney Engelstein, all came together on this one. And so we've got some fun new things. So this particular mage has some different abilities that are going to pass around. She's going to have a token that moves from each thing to each thing. She's got some tokens as well, and as they trigger as different cards make them happen, cool things are going to happen. You've got, and what you guys will see is that once you get through the first game, you're going to open up envelope 1B. Again, this is a prototype, so be kind, because it's just plastics instead of envelopes right now. But you're going to get envelope 1B, which is going to bring out, and this is what we'll play on the live stream, because it starts the new thing that's happening in Outcasts, which is pretty epic. And I won't spoil too much so that you guys can see it all happen on the live stream, but I'll give you a peek at. And those of you who have played Aeon's End before might recognize something here. I won't say more than that, but there's Zaxos. And so I won't tell you what his deal is, but I will say he comes out after you play through the first part, and then you're going to get some new things and a new way of playing the same. It's still Aeon's End, it's still the deck builder you know and love, but you're going to get some new cool things going on that Ryan and I will get to show you with Zaxos in our live play, which will be obviously not this Wednesday because we're doing Sorcerer City, but it will be the following Wednesday if I'm not mistaken. So keep your eye to our channels and our Discord and all that fun stuff to hear more about that. And their Kickstarter launches this Tuesday. So you'll see, I know that we always see Rado on there, so you'll get to get Rado's run through of it and see what he thinks of the game as usual. And then you'll get to see Ryan and I actually play it live, so you can see a playthrough. And we'll start, like I said, with that second scenario in the evolution of Outcasts. So very excited about it. I'm enjoying playing with the cool new stuff so far, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So that's some indie boards and cards stuff. Let's look at what else we've got here. So I've got Cinder. So I've been talking about this game. Let's see. Where do I even start? You can tell it's obviously a take on Tinder. We're doing, Man vs. Meeple will be doing a preview for this game, so you'll look to see that come out. This is a push your luck dice game where you're dating dragons. You are not a dragon, you are dating dragons. And you've got, and this is a prototype, but it is a really fun little prototype. So you've got these dice, you've got your personal profile, you've got second chances when you mess up your date, and you've got locations you can go to. These are all Whelp reviews. Yes, Whelp. Because, what does it say on here? Because I always say it wrong. No matter where you go, there you are. And each of these cards are going to change your date. And so you're going to first start by filling out your character profile. And you're going to say, when it comes to treasure, are you a hoarder, an investor, or a spender? When it comes to climate, do you like it hot, mild, or cold? Your lifestyle, is it active, relaxed, or are you kind of a hibernator? Social, you are either kind of a solo person, you are a little bit more social, or you're totally outgoing. Whichever ones of those are going to circle. You can only have two in a column though, so you can't just be like, I'm all left or I'm all middle. You have to, because in real life, that's just not realistic. So you're going to make your profile, and you get to choose which one, and you're going to put in your name and your likes and your dislikes and all that fun stuff. Then you're going to go to your app, and you're going to see some of the dragons that are looking for dates as well, and you're going to read their profile. For instance, let's see, we'll go to, there was one I really liked. I'm going to pull up the one that I had a good date with when we played. Of course, I'm going to take forever to find the one I had a good date with. Come on, Kira. Here he is. Sorcerer. I don't know what his name, how to say that. Sorcerer. He's a Time Lord, clearly. Warden of Time and Space. It's hard to find love when you can see someone's future and you don't see yourself in it. I'm a sensual soul seeking the unexpected. Surprise me. P.S. No, I won't tell you the mage's lotto numbers. Ha ha. So funny. So then you've already filled out your profile, and what happens when you choose this dragon for your date, and you can swipe left up to 2 times to the row. So you can either pick from the row or you can pick from the one that's up top. If you don't like the one that's up top, you swipe left, and if there's already 3 in the row, they just go to the bottom of the deck, okay? So I've decided to go on a date with Sorcerer, and now I'm going to look and see how do we match up. So let's say I had said I was an investor, I like it hot, I'm kind of relaxed, and I am really kind of solo. So I'm kind of boring, right? So not really. I mean, maybe. Just depends on what you think about that. Anyway, so then you're going to look at how you line up against your date. And in this case, so we're both investors, so I get a green die. The percentages of success on the green die are higher. They like it mild, and I like it hot, so we're 1 off, which means we get a blue die. Again, 1 off, so I get another blue die, and then 1 right on the money, so I get a green die. If I was 2 off, so say instead of solitary, they were outgoing, I would get a red die, which is the worst percentage. So then what happens is we're gonna pick a location, and the dragon's gonna have something that happens. So if I get to a good meetup, then this happens. If they're in my circle, which means we had good dates and they get to be a part of my tableau area, then I get a special ability as well. So we're going to pick the top location card. This is Dastardly's famous maze, challenging and fun. I've done a lot of escape rooms, but none harder or more rewarding, says the review. So we're going to flip it over, and our dates are going to go from a meetup at brunch, the next step, which is an escape room, and then the next level, which is drinks, if we can get that far. So my treasure die is now blue. So if I was right on, now bummer, I actually go down 1. Sometimes it can go in your favor, and other times that can hurt you, but it's really dependent on the dragon. So now I'm going to roll these 4, and the goal is to get hearts. I get 2 hearts and 2 flames. Now there's some other things that could happen with sparks and stuff. Sparks are generally like, oh, well, you didn't get totally burned because there's still something there between you. Maybe just something stupid happened, like you said something like really dumb. You had like verbal diarrhea or whatever. And so the date kind of took a weird turn, but there was still something there. That's what the spark is for. So you don't get to re-roll the fires though, because once you get 3, you've been burned, date over. So you can either say, all right, we had a good meetup, I'm gonna leave it there. They get to go back to the row, or you can push your luck and roll and hope for 2 more. And I totally burned out on that date. Bad date. And then, so now he goes back to the row, done. I don't get any love points. Now, if I had been successful, all the hearts I had accumulated, I'd circle where I am. And the first person to 21 is the winner. Everybody will get 1 more turn till equal turns are had, of course. And then there's some advanced modes on here as well. So if there's like gold cards that you can add, and then there's this whole backside to the profile that gives a little bit more gamery things. You're looking to date specific type of dragons to get things. You got to track your burns and fun stuff like that. So that is Cinder, coming to Kickstarter from Smirk and Laughter, who you may know from games like Shobu, which is an awesome game, and I love that game. They've done Menace Among Us and others, and you might also recognize it because we got a dragon card for David and Jeremy, in promo card for our Kickstarter, where they're twins. And so it's really interesting because they're like completely opposite, like Luke and Anne. This would be a similar type of dragon, where you now have to appease both of these dragons, and you're looking to see how that works. It's complicated, trust me. Dating 2 dragons, not easy. All right, so that is Cinder. I don't normally like pressure luck games, and also when we're having to deal with dice rolls, but this does it in such a fun way, and the theme is hilarious. The art is fantastic. There's a lot of prototype art in here, but the dragons, the art that I've been seeing that are going to be in the final, and some of the Kickstarter stretch goal stuff we're hoping to see come out of the game is really cool. So I think this game is going to be hits Kickstarter on Valentine's Day. Be sure to check it out, because I think this will be a hit. We played it. It's a 2 to 4 game, but we actually played it with 5 last night just for fun, and it worked just fine. You just need an extra marker. It doesn't have a solo yet, but I can see it easily having one, so that might be a stretch goal we see come up for the game. So that is Cinder. I'm going to come back over to the comments as I want to see what people are saying, because I'm super pumped for this silly little game. Let's see. Okay, so we had a couple of comments about Aeon's End. Another new one. But it's cool because it's going to do some different things that we haven't seen yet. It's going to take that same system and do something new with it, which I think everyone will enjoy. And then Legacy, believe it or not, I haven't played Legacy yet. I'm really excited though, because I know it has character building. But I don't know. I played Original. I skipped War Eternal. I skipped Legacy. Played New Age. I've obviously played Outcasts. I kind of know some of the stuff, skip some of the story, but that's okay, because you can totally go back to Legacy, and Legacy, from what I understand from everybody, is just such an easy one to jump into if you've never played before, because it starts you off a little lower, and you get to build this character and kind of learn about the story as you go, and then everything integrates with everything once you're done there. You can play all that stuff with whatever, which is great. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up pretty quick here. I'm going to show 2 more games really fast. Because I haven't, one I've played, one I just have started to delve into the rules, because we're going to be doing some content for it for Man vs. Meeple, like for their Kickstarter. But the first one I'll talk about is Cosmic Colonies, because I just got the pre-production copy from Floodgate Games, and I haven't even opened it yet. Like, I just got it. So, ooh, look at that. It's looking really good in there. So all the tiles for this game. This is a Scott Alms game. I think everybody knows how much I love Scott Alms. And I love space games. And so this looks really great. Oh, the 3D resource bits. Oh, these are great. Oh my gosh. These came out so good, you guys. Oh, wow. You can smell all the funky plastic smells from it being brand new. Oh, I love it. And then you've got some of the Kickstarter stuff that came with this. So the first player marker and stuff. Oh, wow. This came out really good. Ben at Floodgate Games. Nice job, Scott. I think you're going to be really happy with this. I cannot wait to play the final copy. Oh, it looks so good. The player boards are nice too. I like the way these feel. Ooh, that's good material. It's not cardboard. It's like, what do you even call that? It has a name. kind of like a mat, like a dinner mat almost. I don't know. Shush. Words are escaping me. Anyway, excited to play the final edition of that. So more to come on that soon. The box cover came out good. Look at that spot UV. Ooh, shiny. I don't know how well you can see that, but it looks super. Ooh, yeah, you can. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, I can still smell the bits. Okay, so the last one I'm going to talk about, and I'm really excited for this one, and I saw a bunch of people talking about it at Tantrum Con from the weekend, is Holi Festival of Colors. Again, been reading the rules for this. It just showed up with Cosmic Colonies. It's got a really neat 3D board. I don't even want to do it. I don't even want to show it to you this way because it's not put together yet. But you're going to be seeing pictures of this on our Instagram because I'm playing it here pretty quick in the next 24 hours. I've been reading the rules. I think it's going to be a lovely game. It's got an incredible table presence. Check out their social media because they've been retweeting people's pictures from Tantrum Con. And it's got incredible table presence. For a prototype, it looks freaking phenomenal. And if you don't know about Holi, the Festival of Colors, this is just, it's about, it has some religious roots, but it is just a festival of colors. There's a lot of really neat stuff about it. I'm learning about it as I've been reading about it, and I will be able to talk better about it in the future. I don't want to get anything wrong, but the game is going to, I mean, it's just beautiful. And it's Vincent Dutrait art. Can't go wrong there. I cannot wait to play this. The rules look great. I'm never disappointed from Floodgate Games. I enjoy every game I touch from them. I'm excited that I get to be a part of the project and that Man vs. Meeple is going to be doing a video for it as well. And I believe we've got a couple other people covering it that I heard about. So I think we'll see a good amount of content on this game coming up, plus all the stuff from Tantrum Con. So more to come on this when I have had a chance to actually put it together and play it so you guys can see it. I'm very excited for it. It's so pretty. It's such a pretty game. And anything with Vincent on it is beautiful, but it's also based on a very beautiful festival. And I think everyone will really enjoy the way this thing looks. So please check it out. I don't want to do it any injustice by showing you just the box of components. So, all right. That is this week's stream. Like I said, tune in on, well, tomorrow is Ryan's Magic Monday. Join me Monday nights in trolling Ryan while he plays Magic, the Gathering Arena online. It's super fun to troll Ryan because he just has very bad luck, I think. And when he does well, it's very exciting. And overall, it's really neat to see all this stuff. I never really played Magic. I understand the concept, and I've played games that have similar concepts to it, but I got into those kind of games much later. And so my husband really likes Magic, and I have a good general grasp of it, but there's so much about the game I don't understand. And watching Magic the Gathering Arena and Ryan playing it, I'm learning so much about it. And so while I tease about trolling Ryan, you actually will have a good time watching him play. And then that's Monday nights. I think he goes live at like 8 p.m. Eastern. Then on Wednesday at noon Eastern, we'll be playing Sorcerer City from Skybound Games. That'll be Ryan and I. And then the following Sunday on Facebook, Solo Sunday with Jeremy Howard, he'll be playing Sorcerer City and showing off the solo mode. So I think everyone will be really excited about that. All right, guys, tell me who you would pick to win the big game. Watch my mouth. Let me know who you were thinking about, who you were hoping to win in the big game if you were watching the football tonight. I was hoping for San Francisco personally, but I'm not sad to see Kansas City win. So congratulations, Kansas City, on a good win and a good game. Frankly, it very rarely do we get a game that's that close. It's for so much of the game in a Super Bowl. So that was really enjoyable to watch. Halftime show was pretty cool as well. I don't normally get into those, but that I don't know. Those two ladies are from my back in the day growing up music, and it was kind of fun to hear all their old stuff again. And so so that is the Weekly Rewind this week, and we will see you next time.